Hi beauties, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a top 5 video in my top 5 series. I'm going to talk about my most recent concealer purchases and whether I think they're good for mature skin. So if you'd like to find out more, then just keep watching. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me for today's video. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications. That way you won't miss any of my uploads. I've already filmed a couple of videos in the past on concealers that I think are good for mature skin. I will link them down below, but I have purchased some new concealers recently and I wanted to talk to you guys about it and tell you whether or not these are good for mature skin. Some are kind of hyped up and have been talked about quite a bit lately, so I wanted to give you guys my perspective. This is based on how these concealers have performed for me on my mature skin. I am 51 years old. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these concealers if you have tried them. I really wanted to talk about my last 5 purchases, and I think these are the last 5. I went on a concealer splurge and I had to go back and think about what was the 5th one, but I do think I have it over here. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first one I want to talk about, this is the Tarte Creaseless Creamy Concealer. Right now when I search for concealer on Sephora's website, it comes up first as relevant concealers. I don't know if it's because it's relatively new or people are just hyping it up, but it is like the first concealer that pops up on my screen. And it has like 5 stars, only 148 reviews so far. It does seem to have a wide range as far as shades. I purchased mine in Tan Sand, although typically with Tarte concealers, I will purchase mine in the shade Tan. It says here that this is a natural finish. It provides medium coverage. It's cruelty-free, it's a liquid formula, but then when you read about it, it says full coverage. It contains cloudberry, diamond powder, and maracuja oil, so lots of nice ingredients. I picked this up because someone else said it was so great, and I'm gonna swatch it on my hand so that you can see what the shade looks like. It's a really good shade for me. It looks lighter with my lights, but it actually is a really nice brightening shade. The jury is still out for me in this concealer, and I really hate to say that because I haven't had it very long, but I feel like I've had it long enough to have formed an opinion. Right now, like this swatch felt so creamy when I rubbed it out. So it is a very creamy concealer, and I typically love Tarte concealers. But when I wear this, I actually think that it does settle in my fine lines. And my experience with it has been that it performs better when I use a beauty sponge than with a brush. It doesn't seem to be in my fine lines as much when I put it on with a sponge. So I'm not sure yet whether I like this for mature skin, especially if you have a lot of wrinkles underneath your eyes. But it has a lot of good for you ingredients. It has that maracuja oil. It feels like very creamy to the touch, but it's something about it that it's not going underneath my eyes extremely smooth. It's not as smooth as some of my other concealers have been. I'm continuing to try this out with different products, different primers, different powders, different application methods. Put on a little bit, put on a lot. I'm trying different methods to see if I can get that perfect application. I also think that the seasons sometimes matter as well, because your skin is sometimes in different condition based on the season. We're approaching warmer weather, so perhaps it will wear better as the weather is warmer. Maybe my skin is a little dry right now, so I don't want to give up on this. Everything about this seems like it would be good for me. Like the packaging is beautiful, it's very creamy. This seems like it should be perfect for me. And again, I always love Tarte concealers. Shape Tape is like one of my #1 concealers. I still love that concealer. So I'm not giving up on this. However, I do want to say be mindful that I have told you here first that it sort of settles in my fine lines, and I'm not quite positive that it's good for mature skin. Okay, moving on. I'm going to go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. Sometimes I will film a video like this on a product and I don't love it so much to begin with. And then over time, I grow to love it. I figure out what works about the product and then I love it eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that in advance, that sometimes that happens, just in case I'm wrong. The concealer that I purchased the longest ago is this one by Dior. This one is the Forever Skin Correct, and I purchased this one in 4N. And again, I wanted a more neutral shade similar to the Tarte, and I usually purchase this in a more peachy shade. So I kind of miss some of the peachiness, but this is also very good and it's a perfect shade. It's not as brightening as the previous one that I had of this, but it is a very good shade for me. I actually really enjoy this concealer for mature skin. This only has 4 stars and it has 723 reviews on it. This says it's full coverage. Again, lots of shades to choose from. I love the size of this. Like, you get quite a bit of product. This is 0.37. It is very weighty. And it says it's transfer proof, full coverage, and delivers up to 24 hours of wear and hydration. It visibly corrects blemishes and reduces the look of under eye circles, which I would agree. It has also got really good ingredients. Iris extract, wild pansy extract, and nasturtium extract is what I think that is. The one thing about this one is you can use it other places on your face. A lot of people that I have heard talk about this concealer in the past use it almost as a replacement to foundation. Like if you just want a more natural look for that day, you just sort of apply this everywhere and wear it as your foundation. So this can be worn that way, although I don't know why you would want to, because it would run out so much faster if you do that. But you can see that this is sort of see-through for me. I have been wearing this quite a bit. This concealer was one of my go-tos for the longest, especially in the other shade 3 Warm Peach. I wanted a neutral shade because they oftentimes work better for me. This one is a little deeper. I didn't want it to be too bright of an under eye, so I went with this shade, which I like, but I think that the peach shade was a little bit better. I just liked it a little better. So I may go back to my peach shade when I repurchase. But the concealer itself is great. It's Dior. The packaging is beautiful. It's weighty. You get a lot of product. It gives you a beautiful smooth under eye. I cannot complain about this concealer. So I have been purchasing this one for a while. I re-upped on it because I hadn't had it in a long time and I missed it. So I repurchased it, and as you can tell, I have been using it quite a bit. So if you like Dior and you want to give it a try, I do think this one is phenomenal. A lot of people swear by it. So do your research. Watch some other reviews, see what it looks like on people's skin, see if you would like it. But I do think it is a really good option, especially if you like to apply it other places on your face. Let's go ahead and talk about the concealer that I'm wearing today. I'm wearing the HAUS Labs concealer. This is the Triclone Skin Tech Concealer, and I'm wearing it in the shade 31 Medium Neutral. I've heard so much about this concealer. I'm a concealer girl, love it, love it, love it, and I had to have this one. This one is an Allure favorite from 2024. Allure favorite from 2024. It has 4 stars, 1.6K reviews, $32, and many shades. It is clean at Sephora, good for acne and blemishes, which is nice, good for dark circles, which I would agree. It is a long-wearing, non-comedogenic concealer that visibly blurs, brightens, and conceals with medium buildable coverage that depuffs after 2 weeks of daily use. That's good to know. Some of the highlighted ingredients are niacinamide, which brightens and boosts skin hydration. Fermented arnica reduces the look of redness and irritation. And hyaluronic acid, which visibly plumps and hydrates. The shade, I think, is a really great brightening shade for me. So this shade, as you can tell, is a really nice shade. It is not too bright, but it is perfect. It definitely looks brighter under my eye than the rest of my face, which is what I like to go for. I like for it to be a little bit brighter. And it is a creamy concealer. I like the doe foot applicator. It just has a different feel. It's like very flexible. It feels different than some of the applicators that I have used on concealers in the past. But what I have noticed, and I have a mirror here in front of me, but what I have noticed about this concealer is it really doesn't get in my fine lines. And that is one of the things that I look for the most when it comes to concealer. I want it to cover my dark circles because I do have them, but it doesn't need to look unnatural. I don't see my dark circles. I also don't see I call them divots, but they're hollows underneath your eye. I didn't apply a ton of this. I did not apply a ton of this today, and it's something about it that it does a good job of kind of filling in and smoothing the under eye. Maybe because it depuffs, I don't know. It may be because of other products I have on. Today I have on the Mario powder, and I also have a little bit of Pat McGrath on that I applied right before this video. My under eyes look amazing, and it is this concealer that is giving me the result that I'm seeing today. And I already had determined that before today's video. I noticed immediately when I tried this for the very first time that my under eyes were a little bit snatched. And I actually purchased these two at the same time. I purchased the Tarte and this at the same time, and I was more excited to get the Tarte. I wanted them both, but I was really excited for the Tarte. The package is a little bit prettier. I just liked it, and I thought, oh, I can't wait to see what this is like because I am a Tarte fan, but I haven't been able to get it to be as pretty under my eye as this. So this is absolutely beautiful and deserves to be an Allure favorite. It's gorgeous under my eye. I think it is beautiful and wonderful for mature skin. It does the job. It's creamy, but not too creamy. It's amazing. I feel the same way about the foundation that goes with this. I love that as well. So love that concealer by HAUS Labs. I was going to rank these, but I'm not quite ready to rank my concealers just yet. I continue to do this. Every time I sit down to film these videos, I'm like, let's rank them this time. And I can't do it. No, I can't. I can't do it. This is the Natasha Denona concealer. I actually talked about this one in the last concealer video, and I hadn't had it long, but I wanted to talk about it in that video. For a while, this was like starting to crank up to be my #1 concealer. And we will see. I'm not ready yet to say where it ranks. For a while, I was like so in love with this, and I'm still in love with it, but I thought this is the #1. Nothing can beat this. But now that I have tried the HAUS Labs, I'm not quite sure which one. And this one, I think I really kind of fell for because the shade is a golden shade, and when I'm going for that type of look, I really enjoy this concealer. It's super creamy. It looks amazing under my eye. I love this. It does not settle in fine lines. It is absolutely stunning and worth every penny. This one is $30, not too expensive. It has 887 reviews and almost 5 stars. Not quite though. And again, also has really good ingredients. It's a natural finish, long wearing, medium coverage, hydrating concealer, good for dark circles. It does some similar things that the Haus Labs does, like depuff and blur, delivers a natural finish. It says up to 19 hours of wear. It is a creamy medium to full coverage concealer with active skincare ingredients. It has capsicum anum leaf. This says priming effect, fades dark circles, reduces puffiness and skin regeneration. Some other things that I cannot pronounce. It has an antioxidant and anti-aging properties that fight inflammation. It has something else in it that adapts to skin's texture, providing flexible, natural looking coverage. This one has a lot going for it as well, and I definitely recommend it. Again, beautiful packaging, but it knocks my socks off. I love this shade. It's just a perfect shade that's a little different than some of the others that I have because it has the golden undertones, and I love that about this particular shade. But I have really enjoyed this concealer quite a bit for my mature skin. It does not settle in my fine lines. It covers well. I love this. I love this. Natasha Denona. I really wanted to try this tiny little concealer by Westman Atelier. This says Vital Skincare Brightening Concealer with Hyaluronic Acid in it. I purchased this one in the shade T1, and I'm going to swatch this for you. Very creamy concealer. Very similar as far as the shade. It's very similar to the Natasha Denona. It has that golden appearance. You don't get much. You don't get much with this one, guys, and it is quite expensive. It is $48, and you only get 0.20 ounces. But I wanted to try it. Wanted to see if it was really good, and people have ranked it pretty high. It's almost 5 stars, and it has had 503 reviews. Also says it's good for dark circles, non-comedogenic, natural finish, hydrating, buildable under eye concealer, reduces the look of dark circles, featuring serum strength skincare to hydrate, visibly brighten, and soothe. It has a lot of ingredients in it as well that are for the dark circles, hyperpigmentation, firm the look of the eye contour. It has hyaluronic acid. It has peptides in it to support natural collagen and soften the look of crepiness, fine lines, and crow's feet. That's what it says. But I don't know, guys. This is another one that I think the jury is still out for me. Beautiful packaging, high end. And when I first tried it, I thought, this is good. But then on days when I don't wear this and I wear one of the others, like the Natasha Denona or the Haus Labs, I see a better looking under eye. I can see my fine lines a little bit more with this. It doesn't look as good as it looks today. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. Can't get close right. Okay. This one doesn't quite do it as well as some of the others. So for me, if my $30 concealer looks better, why would I buy this again? So the jury's still out. I am going to use it. I'm going to continue to wear it with different products to see if it's something that I'm putting on with this that's making it not look so perfect. But I would just say pass on it. I hate to tell you guys to pass on a product that's not that bad. But if there's something out there that is better, then pass on it. Especially if you're going to get so much less. You get so much less product. It's so much more expensive, and it doesn't perform as well as something like this. So for me, I'm going to use it because I bought it. I may come back to you guys and talk to you about this product in a favorites and have a whole different opinion of it one day. It could happen. But right now, as I have, been wearing it, I just have noticed, like, I'm like, I'll look in the mirror and I'll see my fine lines a little bit more. It doesn't look terrible, but I will wear the other concealers on a different day and they look better than this one. So I find myself not reaching for it as much because I don't want to see my fine lines. That's what's gonna get it for me, like covering my dark circles and whether it settles in my fine lines and how natural it looks. Does it look smooth under my eye, or does it look cakey? Those are things that I'm looking for. I know that there are lots of concealers on the market that can give me that, so then I don't want to settle for something that doesn't do it. So this is a little bit pricey in my opinion. It is good, but I have better, and I would probably recommend that you pass on this one unless you're just curious about it and you love Westman Atelier, or you have different issues than I do. Perhaps your under eyes are different than mine, so then go for it if that's your jam. But I probably won't buy this again unless a miracle happens and it somehow like gets so much better under my eye. Right now, I probably won't buy it again. I'm gonna use this one though because it's $48. Before you click away, I do want to mention something that I mentioned in my previous video. I like to tell people this just in case you're still not getting your under eyes to look the way that you would like for them to look. Even though you may try some of these concealers, you're still not loving it. I would say if you're still having a dark circle issue and you want to address that, to add a color corrector. My favorite right now is the Faux Filter color corrector, and this one is in the shade Mango. It is good for dark circles, so it's going to cancel out those dark circles. This is very creamy and highly effective, just like the concealer, and I talked about her concealer in a previous video, but this is really good color corrector. So if you apply color corrector, then the concealer, you will get better performance out of your concealer. So I always recommend to add that if you find that you are not getting rid of dark circles. I also really enjoy the Pat McGrath, it's got a long name. I think Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. If I got that right, give me a thumbs up. The back of this powder, I cannot see it any longer, but I wear mine in the shade medium, and I really think that it adds a little extra something to smooth my under eyes, and I really enjoy using this as my under eye setting powder. And I also like to add a translucent powder, so I'll put this on first and then the translucent powder, or vice versa. I apply the translucent and then end with this. But I do think that this helps to smooth and blur whatever is going on underneath your eye. Just try different things to help your concealer out if you find that you're not loving it. The same way that I'm going to continue to experiment with a few of mine, do that. If you find I still don't love this concealer, you know, try hydrating your skin more, try using a different primer, try switching up your powders, and oftentimes you will get better results. That's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to talk about my most recent concealer purchases and what I think about them and whether I think that they are good for mature skin. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will respond. And if you've not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button before you leave. So I'll be seeing you guys again very soon in my next video. So until the next time we meet again, this is Savvy signing out.